Hey there. It's been a while, but we made it back. This is a chill kind of love podcast on Intellectual Radio. I am your co-host, your favorite godson, Keith, with the lovely wife of mine. What, you figure out your nickname this time?
No,
It's your favorite goddaughter.
it's your favorite goddaughter,
Uh-huh.
Michelle.
Exactly.
Hey everybody. Hey. Good to be back. We got some stuff to talk about today, huh?
Yep, just a little bit because life is lifing and
I feel like we say that every time we come on here.
I
Life be life.
yeah, I think that 2025 was not messing around. It seemed at first very promising, and then it just kind of went from there to a very uh like a very long fight. It just seemed like it's a battle this year.
Yeah.
Um so
Do we want to go
let me
back,
get this over.
go into that a little bit, or you want to
Well,
leave it alone for now?
no, I mean we were you no, we can talk about what just happened in part of what we were just getting over. That's if you are okay. If not, then no, we will definitely go right past that because I do not need to uh sit on it. But we have gone through some loss in the family, and that took some time away. We had to take care of that. So that was part of what's been happening on top of the gymnastic ability of everything else from like I say, we told y'all before, but remember, I think if you remember a few shows back, we told y'all before about, the cars and trees falling and all of that. Now you got to add floods in the basement, furnaces going out, losses in the family, more chaotic stuff even with the weather. So it's just normal things, I guess.
But we still standing.
Yo, yeah, of course. Even the scriptures say, fall down 7 times, stand up 8. So we gonna stand on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what we gonna do. And I just want us to be transparent to that extent, so people don't. I don't want people to misconstrue like we just have a fairy tale lifestyle, like nothing ever happens. We never have disagreements.
Yeah, we've been disagreeing a little bit, or I think because of what's been going on in life, it's just been a little harder on our dynamic sometimes lately. So no, we don't have, it's not just all smooth sailing going on over here, but there is consistently a decision and a choice to choose each other every day. That is something that we do.
And that is part of the holy matrimony. And well, and I said that on the last episode about the calm seas never made a good sailor.
Yeah.
So you have to learn how to weather the storm, build up the mental toughness, raise your capacity, and things like that. And we talked about that on our last episode. But wait, there was more after that. We have definitely continued on. So one thing that we do want to clear up, that was kind of brought to the forefront, was the effects that social media can have on the relationship or on people's perception of what's going on in a relationship. Um, so
In the relationship and individually, what people may take in when they see our social media pages, based on what you post or based on what I post, assumptions, or um, just off of what we post and what we're passionate about, what that can look like.
mhm.
So I do feel like sometimes it can come off real negative. People get a negative perception of you. And I really wanted to clear that up because I don't feel like we live um a life of negative. But yeah, let's dive into your side.
Okay, so, and clearing that up, because I'm the main one posting. I think anyone who can see my page,
I
or
post, but I post
I,
about kids.
I'm the main one posting. Not, I'm not saying you don't.
I do. I post, but I post about. I go neutral with my post, especially because the profession that I'm in, with I'm working with other people's children and everything. I'm just very, very careful and particular about what I put on social media, the image that's portrayed and everything. But if we hop on your page, we just don't know.
And that's the thing, because there are so many different things that I've posted, said, dived into. I mean, you talking about thousands of posts. You probably can't even go through all of mine, but I do uh, carry that sentiment of that people skip over certain things I post, and they only focus on certain things that they're in some sense of opposition to, or if the shoe fits kind of thing, they'll respond to it. Um, and it's kind of like those memes where it's like, man, people only show up to disagree, and they popping about the sewer or something like that. And it's been kind of funny along this ride seeing people on my social media that go from friend to unfriend to back to friending me and things like that, based on whatever I may have spoke on, or something I may have just shared for various different reasons. And I don't explain every single one of them. I don't have all the time in the world too, but I do try to get some explanation in there. So from the religious posts I make, and understanding history and certain religious points, to the posts I make about relationships and men and women, or I should say women and men, it's a vast scale of those things. So looking at it from the point I think you wanted to tackle more, as like the question I guess popped up: do I hate women? Now let's be serious, okay? Because I have had some people type that in the comments, like, "Do you hate women?" It's like, well, no. What? I'm married to one. Like, come on now. I love my woman. I love my mom. I love my sisters. I love those are around me. I actually, in a certain sentiment for the community, I try to protect women. I actually care about women. So anything that you do place some sense of value on as a man, you kind of hold it close. You create a certain I have a certain expectation, and things like that. Because if I didn't care, I'm telling you, if I didn't care, it'd be whatever. But I'm not afraid to vocalize and say whatever it is, because whatever you got to say about me is what you got to say about me. I mean, I know I know myself well enough. I know my worth. I know the people who are around me that actually experience me offline, what they see and what I present to the world. So
Well, but how important is the perception too? So I get, you know, ultimately, no, I love women. I'm such and such, and no, not those negative things. But if it comes across like you don't, how important is that to some extent? When you say, I know who I am, yeah, but don't you want to translate how you are on the inside too?
yeah, but I do feel like I demonstrate that based on other things that I post. So if I say something about women, holding them accountable to some extent, or explaining some illogical perception that women are demonstrating on men or to the world, if I speak on that, then it's like, well, why'd you have to say something? It's like, I mean, I just said something. Why can't I say something? Who gets to choose that for me? I get to choose that for me. And do I care about how it looks? To an extent, but I know that just as well as, five people, and let's just keep it specifically on the women part right now, because I've had people get mad at me about the religious stuff. If you're not going to agree with me all the time, and I'm not going to agree with you all the time, not you specifically, but just people, and that's okay. We do not have to agree about everything. That's some of the best and brightest ideas. That's the the embodiment of tolerance. That's what we're supposed to be able to do. So, and I'm say this again, as a man, you are not going to control me, any of y'all. You know what I mean? That's government on down. So I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. The truth doesn't need a filter. And just as much as everyone has their own individual truth, we do have to be objective at times, or else everybody just be running rampant saying everything. And that's not cool, as they say.
Well, who does control you on when it comes to what you say? Because, or let's make this clear, I don't have no control either. When you say as a man, they don't, but I'm saying I don't have any control. And I've had conversation with you about what it can appear like. Yo, like that's not your fight, Keith. This you make it look like, we're dealing with certain things that we're not necessarily dealing with. Are you sure this is what you want to present to the world, or do you take into account like what that looks like for me?
Mhm.
Or how that could affect me. And we've had that conversation so many times. And at this point, I just be telling people like, if you gotta unfriend them. You know, um, I can't I can't control what Keith puts on social media, and nor do I want to. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's my personal page. It's a extension of my character, of who I am to an extent. But like I say, there's a vast amount of things that I say, and it's just so funny the focal points that people want to focus in on. I had someone tell me not too long ago on a post like, "Oh, some of your posts are like red pill," and I was like, "Red pill?" I was like, "You've never seen me get up here and talk like on a video of like red pill bashing. You never seen me do
Can
that."
you explain what red pill
Well, when you
is?
really look up what Red Pill Podcast, it's a collective of at this point, it's kind of collective of, they say, men, um quote unquote, bashing women or speaking their truth, right? Oh, it's funny when men do it now, but Red Pill really started off with just um outside the norm. Red Pill was conspiracy theories and everything else, which now everybody's like, yeah, conspiracy theories are real. It's like, I'm sure a lot of conspiracy theorists are waiting on their apologies too. You know what I mean? But this is what people do when they reject something that isn't familiar to them. But she told me she kind of said my information was red pill, and I was just like, I don't really associate myself with posting or talking like, I don't know if you were like Fresh and Fit or somebody who goes off on a deep end. I don't even have, one, I don't do the videos like them. Two, I don't even text like them. My even what I text and post isn't going off on a deep end of what they say. And I try to be objective because I find it funny. And I've done my own little studies where I may post some things about women in a row, and it's about things that men find to be true about women.
Yeah, but let's talk about like your timing on posts. So it's times where you post things about women that are very specific to things that may be going on in people that are close to you lives or our own life. So
Listen,
yeah, no, don't do that because you're not gonna
listen.
sit here and act like it's just coincident.
No, but it's not always intentional. Like if it pops up, it pops up. If I can reflect on it, if I can align with it to an extent, or if they cooking in some part, I may post it. There's a lot of things I don't post, whether I agree or disagree with it as well. I can't post everything. I'm working. You know what I mean? But I do the things that I can get a hold to. Sometimes for the most part, I would say it is coincidental because of the things that I follow, the people I follow, what my timeline looks like. My timeline doesn't look, I don't know what people think my timeline, but let me clear it up for you. My timeline has a plethora of Bible scriptures going down it. My timeline has a plethora of history. My timeline has a plethora of cr-
Relationships.
relationships. And I'm talking about relationships, not just ate at the table and not just tonight's conversation, but like from psychologist to author to author, speaking on relationships. I mean, I have an affinity for psychology. That was my major. So I've always been interested in how people's behavior, their personalities, and their day to day decisions. So I take a different look on these things, you know. But back to it, I've posted things that maybe a plethora of not sorry, a consistent post of like posts geared towards defining something about women, maybe a little negative, maybe a little bit more negative, maybe some positive as well, and everyone has their takes on it. Women agree with it, sometimes they don't, men agree with it and just won't say anything, right? You get minimum interaction for that type of stuff. But when I post about checking men, when I post about holding men accountable, the floodgates open, the shares come out, the loves and likes start supporting. And I just think that's so funny because I check men all the time, and really in person. And women, I still do it through subtlety.
No, you don't. You're not
Yeah,
subtle. You're not very
sometimes,
subtle at
sometimes.
all.
I
Let's be
mean,
real.
I'm a check on a check, period. You know what I mean? But the thing is,
I think
what
it's
gets
not
focused on
how. It's not what you say. It's how you say it at times. So you
uh
don't have a subtle approach, babe. That's
in
not.
person I do. In person, it's a
No.
little different hearing and talking to me versus me sharing someone else's post, or the couple little posts I do make are subtle when I'm addressing people.
Mhm.
But it's a little better in person, you know. But yeah, just hearing things like, "Oh, your stuff is red pill." I'm like, if you look through my entire page, it's not red pill. If you look through when I see other comments like, "Well, come on, Keith, you got to give us women a break," and I just be like, "Is this selective equality? Is this selective
No,
outrage?
but after
Because who
you
gives men a
hit
break?"
people with 8 or 9 different posts in 1 hour, they are looking for like, wait a minute, let me swallow what you just said. The first post, not give me 7 or 8 more on top of that first one. You understand what I'm saying?
No,
So
I
that's
do,
that's
but
where I think that's where when I talk about like, nah, you ain't got no, you gotta ease people in sometimes. Sometimes you a little rough,
but
you know?
my what comes down from me on some maybe somebody's timeline, they don't just see me. You know what I mean? So I'm posting what I want to for me. It's not for
Yeah,
everybody else
but
all the time.
no, but what you post is for you, but you represent me too.
You
And
know
what
what?
and just like what I do represents you. So sometimes take it more of a easy approach, like a slower approach. Maybe don't post 9 posts that day about a woman. Maybe post 4 and let them take that in.
Is it okay if I post 15 posts about men in 1 hour?
No, I'm saying anyway, he either way it goes. What I'm saying is I would imagine it would roll over better if it wasn't so boom. You understand what I'm saying? Is that too much for you?
No, it's not too much for me. It still sound like tone policing.
No, it sounds like if you're posting to get a reaction, you're gonna get a reaction, right?
Sometimes I am
Yeah,
posting
okay,
to
but then
alert.
if you're posting to really help, who are you helping if they're not listening? If they're feeling attacked. So sometimes we have to just change our method.
Well, accountability does look like an attack sometimes to
Yeah,
people who aren't ready to accept the behavior that they perform.
okay.
That's true too.
I'm not going to negate that. I'm not. But what I am saying is sometimes your approach
Yeah,
could be a little
I
more
get you.
gentle.
You're saying it feels overwhelming
It
sometimes.
can be
I guess
overwhelming.
that's if you click on my page and just scroll down. But again, it's not going to be long before you start seeing me
I don't
change to
know. It's
another
times where
topic.
you're like, did you see that post? And so I gotta click on your page and I gotta go down all of your posts
Exactly,
to see that
because I've
post.
been shadow banned before too. When I was posting all that stuff about COVID and alerting people and letting people know about all of them shots and things like that, I was getting put in all kinds of social media jail
Uh,
for that. And even now, my posts do not show up. And then I get people in my inbox. It's like, oh man, I was looking for something you was posting. Oh, something you was saying, and I had to click on your page. I got to go find it because it doesn't come down my timeline.
well, I just to get back on track. I think the point in bringing it up because I hear it quite often about um Keith in the way that you appear on social media can be different than who you really are in person. And some of that is just people don't know you. So, you know, that some of that we got to take into account. But then the other part of what we can do to kind of help the situation, it'd be nice if you helped it a little bit, you know.
I mean, I try to, to an extent. And this is when it's like, okay, I feel like I have to tell people those parts of me to defend myself. Like when someone says, "Well, you hate women," it's like, well, did you know I was, a supporter of a nonprofit solely to help women empower themselves, and I was actually a consistent part of that for several years with the co-founder helping women. No, you didn't know that, huh? But I hate them. Like let's stop it. You know what I mean? This is the stuff I be saying,
Mm.
but I don't want it to be like I have to go tit for tat every time I hear that. Now I gotta, oh, did you know I just uh told this woman a day ago she needs to leave this guy because here's the red flags that she just told me and I just talked her out of an abusive relationship? No. Oh, okay. And those are the things. Like I try to keep it pretty neutral. I mean, or pretty objective. Um, in my postings, period. It's not. Yeah, pretty sure if you go through all of them, you won't find more on women than you do on men. It's the same. It's the same
No, it
thing.
just depends on
It
the
just
day.
depends on the day, what's come around, the conversations,
Right.
and I think people got to understand. A lot of people may not know, but um, I mean, I talk to a lot of people via inbox, via on foot, in person, things like that. It's a lot of people's lives that go on, and there's a lot of when we talk about the men versus women, gender war, and we hear about misogyny all the time. Do you ever really hear about misandry? How often does that get checked? You,
Yeah. So the funny thing, we sitting in the car and I was like, what's misandry? I'm like, what are you talking about? And I had to Google it to get my definition. But the reality is we do. We talk about women who hate men.
it's a lot
That
of
is,
that going
yeah,
on.
well, but that gets talked about. That I'm not gonna even pretend like that doesn't get talked about. It does. We just don't necessarily put that title on it.
Exactly, but let's identify it. Let's call it out for what it is, because he definitely called out misogyny. And I've been told I was a misogynist a couple times, and I've had the same people that told me that come change their answer later after being around me for a while
Right.
and realize that's not what it is. But there are some misandrists out here that do not change,
Right.
that I have encountered online, and they're still like that to this day. And there's a whole movement going on talking about decentering men, and it's crazy work. The type of stuff that's going on that does not get a lot of spotlight, but by all means we're gonna have spotlight on men and what men are doing. We're gonna police what they're doing, while so a couple, I shouldn't say a couple, but while another
Well,
gender goes unchecked in what they do.
that's not true because there's posts about it that you're posting all the time about what women do. So somebody's posting. It's getting traction.
But
So
when it gets that is what I'm saying, it's not getting met with good faith. It's not getting met with genuine accountability and understanding. It's just like, oh, here goes another one about women. And turn yuck. What's that? Yuck. And then they turn it off. This is something that trending right now.
wow.
And they turn it off versus really understanding. And it goes even into men's podcast, period, which men have only started talking from what I remember from being younger till now as a grown man. Men have really only been talking like this since 2018, 2019. So you talking about 5 to 6 years. I'm really hearing men speak. I did not hear men speak the first half of my life on public platforms. It never happened. I heard a lot of women speak and talk about what they wanted to talk about. But as soon as it's like now, as soon as men say something, it's almost like, why are you dudes talking? Get back to work. Why you
Yeah,
got
but
feelings?
who's saying that? And that's the part. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm just looking. I'm letting you go. But when you say who's saying that, I want you to think about
Well,
that.
no, because I want to make it clear too, like because there's times where I feel like you make other people's fight your fight. Who's saying that to you? Like, you know, your feelings don't matter.
Well, well, let's touch on that, right? Because I do empathize with people in general, but I empathize with guys who go through this again. I talk to a lot of men.
Yeah,
A
but
lot
I'm
of
talking about you.
a lot of men have silent battles all the time. So I
Okay.
feel that, and I've had those some of those feelings throughout my lifespan. Didn't have too many people to talk to, didn't have my dad around. So I had to go through life and navigate that. And now I'm in a space where um talking to other grown men, even older than me, and they just like, really pour it on, and they just happy to be able to have a voice to some degree, or be able to get wisdom somehow. And I do empathize with that. And I try not to absorb it. All right, same thing I told you: observe, don't absorb. I try not to absorb it to where I make it into me, right? But and sometimes I may fail at that, where I absorb it a little too much. But I think that what plays into it is that I've experienced it. So I'm really reaching back to Keith at 30, Keith at 20, Keith at 15, who never got the chance to be understood, who didn't get the help, who didn't get the assistance. The guys around here and there, I could talk to them, pick their brain, older men, things like that. But even as men trying to comfort each other going through these trials and tribulations, it seems like it never got directed to the women to get understanding back. And then Keith at 15, at 20, at 30 runs into this at
Okay.
some point. Again, I've ran into it with you. Like, I wouldn't say that I've never not felt a certain way, like recently, what happened with I was trying to kind of vent to you in the midst of everything that's been going on. And I try to check on your mental all the time. And you kind of asked me about me, and I tried to, let a little off the top, vent a little to you, and it seemed like it was misunderstood.
It was. So, uh, so just, my brother passed.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, I don't have to talk about it.
no, if my brother passed, and my battle with grief
Mhm.
um has hit different this time around, where um
Go ahead, lay it on thick
no
like Becker's pizza.
um where I'm dealing with some sort of like panic attacks or anxiety
Anxiety.
attacks,
Yeah.
um things that I never dealt with before. So my capacity as of right this moment is just probably at a all-time low.
Mhm.
It's very difficult for me to consider how um anybody feels right this moment, because I'm trying to keep myself afloat. On top of doing the everyday. It's peak season, you not home. The kids are going to school every day, and normal life is happening, and um trying to get back into routine. Me going to work, and and So when we talked that day in particular, to be honest with you, I just don't even feel like I had the capacity. And I said it afterwards. Like, I just don't think I could be present for you right then. Um, Considering everything that's going on, so call it selfishness or whatever. I don't know, because to me this is difficult. Yeah. Um my brother passed, what, a month and a half ago now.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, where do you have time, Michelle? Like, trying to, because those thoughts are going through my head too. Like, okay, so when you gonna have time? When are you gonna create space for somebody else? Um or get back into the routine of things and the normalcy. But um the reality is I've never felt this kind of grief before.
Mm-hmm.
This is a different kind
The
than,
stacking. I think it's a pile up.
yeah, I mean, possibly. Um, so with that being said, in regard to what you had going on, I mean, I still believe that my what I said was true. Like, my thought processes on everything, I wasn't lying, but I could have went into it with more of a listening ear and been more patient with you, allowing a space for you um to talk, and been I guess more ready to listen to than to respond.
Mm-hmm. And we had this resolution conversation after the initial uh back and forth, because we was going back and forth. And I think that, and I mean, I thank you for reaching a point of understanding, because I know what you got going on. I know what you're dealing with. And I think that in relationships we try to hold space for each other, and I'm talking about everyone should try to hold space for their person. But when your person is dealing with something, like for instance, I know my wife is currently dealing with that loss, so I try to create room for her, you know. Um, but in the creating room for your person, I think we all still are dealing with our own stuff, on the daily. Like you just said, you still moving and chugging along, the little engine that could. And as I try to be there for you as much as I can, I still have, and I think we were talking about emotional regulation. Like I have to regulate myself to be able to deal with you and create room for you. And I can remember, I do remember the podcast me and the guys had where we were talking about asking your woman to create room for you as a guy. And I just think that's something that a lot of guys can identify with, where like right now there's some justification, right? Dealing with something heavy like grief. But I think that a lot of guys may view this where it's an ongoing creating space for their woman, and they don't have space for themselves. And what happens is they become, hollow. They don't share their feelings. They don't talk about it. They deal with it however they deal with it, which could be a bad vice. It could be hope. And then a lot of guys don't have friends, like close friends, to talk to about heavy stuff too. So it becomes just, all right, I'll create space for her. I'll create space for her. And you know, it turns out bad. Now, I've seen that on the other side with women doing that for their guy. You know, it's just that more times than often, I looking at different, the Gottman Institute studies and things like that. when we talk about the emotional labor in a relationship is mostly put on women because they're experiencing and telling what their emotions, they're expressing it more. And a lot of guys will then pull back and not say what theirs are. So I do, again, I thank you for us being able to come full circle and reach a resolution on that. And because realistically, like I say, I just took a little time. I was trying to vent as I'm going through, and we talked about this before. This year, man, we all going through it, and we do need to find some balance.
Right. So then the question is, how do you find balance in the midst of things going on? Because really,
Yeah, get closer.
since we've been married, I do feel like this has been one of the harder years when it comes to outside things kind of happening but affecting our unit.
Mm-hmm.
Um this year, last year, well, it was my grandmother's passing, my dad's passing,
Mm-hmm.
Phil's passing, and it's like, yo, three heavy hitting things. And I grew up not losing people.
Mm-hmm.
So um now it's almost this shift. And I put on a when things like this happen, I tend to put on um the cape, and I'll go and I'll help, and I'll set up the memorial, and I'll go do all of these things um regardless, and feel like I'm cool. Oh, I'm okay. I'm getting through it. But I think after his memorial, it really hit me. Everything kind of set in for me. But I guess now I it's not these tears, not necessarily because my brother passed, because I know that my brother passed at this point. It's more so along the lines of, man, how do you find balance in your relationship and your family and everything after you do have something so detrimental kind of happen?
What?
And
Mhm.
just to be clear, my brother, from what I understood, was healthy and everything. We
Mhm.
did not see this coming. We did not have time to mentally plan for this or anything like that. This just happened.
Yeah, it was a sudden,
It was a
sudden.
sudden thing. And so now I find myself at 3 o'clock every morning, which was around the time I got a phone call about him. I'm waking up with these um anxious feelings, very anxious feelings. And I still have children that need me and a husband that needs me. I still go to work, and I'm helping families and other people's children. So I guess my tears are more so along the lines of, man, what ways do you find balance in the middle of grief? And then when do you say enough is enough? Or when do you stop? Okay, husband, say you lost a sibling, right? Okay, husband, when you gonna go get some help because this not healthy, versus I'm giving you your space and your time to kind of figure it out. Or what does that really look like? A healthy way to go through grief and giving and being present for your partner.
No, and I like I say, I because when we had that conversation about the grief and things like that, and I think is your job, is any of us when we're in a relationship with someone, it's our part of our task to kind of know the person you with, and be able to pinpoint when you see something maybe irregular in their behavior, or based on how they are, like you could see the punch coming in slow. And that's why I was, trying to gear towards you, like, hey babe, you okay? Hey babe, don't, hey, you need to, hey, just calm down, or don't go do that. I was trying to, because we put these capes on and we attach our sense of self-worth to doing things, we skip out on the parts of us that need love most at that moment. And that's when you get in those, I guess, compulsive behavior, or you get tunnel visioned on that. That's when your person should come out and grab you. Hey, I see what you're doing. Hey, don't you might be harming yourself a little bit. Like, relax. And I know I know I tried to say certain things to you to an extent.
I
Like,
felt, to be honest with you, through it. So I had a panic attack or anxiety attack.
anxiety attack.
Um, where I went to the emergency room the first time, and I was like, they checked my everything, gave me an EKG, everything was fine.
I think before we got to that part, we was halfway through. It was already like, I think you came to that conclusion. I didn't even say nothing, and you kind of came to that conclusion, like, we should just be back at home.
Well, because I knew, but I could not get my heart. I never felt my heart race like that. And
Mhm.
when tried to sit down, I couldn't sit down. I had never felt that before. So part of me, and because my brother passed of that heart condition, I was like, yo, let's go check my heart. Cause
Mhm.
I thought he was normal and healthy, and he wasn't, right? And so that first time that happened, but then I went back again to urgent
Mhm.
care,
Mhm.
and and got checked out again. Did I do it 3 times or just
No,
twice?
because the second time I was like, come on now, we
Well,
gotta do
so then
something
there's
different.
that
Like,
thing where, so your response to me going to urgent care, it was like you were upset about it. And, or at least that's how I felt. And I knew when I went, I knew that I felt anxious. I said, for my peace of mind, I need to go get checked. We didn't have a working
blood pressure
blood
monitor.
pressure
It
kit.
wasn't reading right,
It
so
wasn't reading
we
right.
end up buying another one to make
Yeah.
sure we get those readings correct, so we don't have to rush
Yeah,
off
but
to
before
the.
that happened, and yeah, it was your response to it. It was like, what are you doing? Almost like you were irritated. I could feel the
I
irritation.
was, I
I
was,
could
and
feel the irritation,
what?
and it did not make me feel safe
Hmm.
in the midst of me going through this. So almost like I don't know how how safe I feel to even let you know what I'm feeling when I'm feeling it.
And that's how I felt when we had that conversation not too long ago, and I was like, I can't even say nothing because you know because of my feelings, they don't matter. So being the safe space for each other is hard, especially in the midst of both people going through something at the same time. Because even the first time we went to the emergency room, and we went in there, and it was all to make sure that you were good. I mean, I got my own thoughts on what's going on here, but I know at the moment is no more talking to you about it because you're having an experience. So I'm gonna go with you in solidarity. I'm gonna make sure you get what needs to be gotten. Let's take it seriously and go back home. And then even the second time, again, like I say, because I got what I got going on. So this is just another thing. But I know I had been forewarning you and saying things ahead of time. So now I'm irritated because I'm taking it serious. And I felt like I had already been taking it serious because I had told you, go see the counselor. Go see the counselor. Hey, stop going doing this. Hey, stop going doing that. I was trying to preserve you for yourself. And I tell you that all the time. And typically when you have something going on with you where you need a moment, I normally say, okay. I normally tell you, okay, take your moment, or okay, or hey, don't do anything today. Go sit down. Don't go touch another piece of laundry. Don't go do this. Don't go sit, chill.
I think that's easier said than done. And can I say why? because I know that I'm going to be met with that when all of this is over. So you say, don't touch the laundry, don't go to work, don't do such and such. All of those, the things that I put down, I'm going to have to deal with when I go back in. So I'm more reluctant not to put it down because I don't want it to pile up. I already feel like it's piled up on me. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not like you saying, don't do the laundry. I got it. Or I'm gonna get somebody in here, they gonna do the laundry. It's not that. It's just don't do that laundry. You can do it tomorrow. At least that's how it looks to me. Now, let me make this clear. It's not like you complain about laundry or anything for that matter. You're not a complainer when it comes to something not getting done
Hmm.
around the house. Even if you needed it, I still wouldn't even know because you don't complain. But I do. I am one where that matters to me, that laundry not being done, or you not having what you need to go to work, or the kids not having something done, that bothers me. So it's all in my own head.
Well, you know what? There was something I was going to read about that because there was a couple studies done on, like, and it has to do with rumination, catastrophizing, even just worry. Like 85% of what we worried about doesn't even happen. And we build this up in our heads and we create these imaginary things that aren't there, won't even be there, or what have you. So I was going to read about it, but I'm not going to go that far into it, like read it out loud. But just know that, and I talked to you about those four quadrants of time and urgency and stuff like that. Everything's not in one quadrant. Everything doesn't need to be done right when it does. And you have to allow that, um you have to allow a safe space for yourself. Even if I'm trying to make room for you, which I have, but if you don't make it for you, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be able to do that. So yeah, oh well, if I don't do it, it's not gonna get done, and I just got to do it later, so I'm gonna do it now. But then that's a downward spiraling thing because you're not taking a moment for yourself. You're not building the resilience back up. It's gonna crumble on top of you. You understand what I'm saying? And at least the way that we've had our marriage and live our lives, I've always tried to make sure I do the heavy lifting and try to keep heavy stuff up from you. I don't even want you dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? So when you say things like you have to lift these heavy things, and I'd be like, well, she don't have to. I'll lift them. But then in reality, it's like I can't lift it all either. We're supposed to be complementary to lift it all together. So no one person is just, Hulk and He-Man around here. It's more like Wonder Twin powers activate, and we both can take on the form of, the shape of, and complete the task type deal. And I think that's where the strength is. It's in unity versus two individuals independently working. We have to actually be more cohesive and collaborative on those things, you know. But again, it's not, and I just remind y'all, we said this a long time ago, it's not always going to be equal. It's equitable, you know. um I mean, if I'm at work all day, I'm at work all day, but I always bring the money home and the bills is going to get paid. And when you go to work, you're going to go to work, and you don't have to be there all day, but you go and then you come home, you're going to bring the money too. It's going to add up. We put it in a pot, and the pot covers the lot. As simple as that. And you gonna do what you got to do inside the house, whatever various tasks. I do whatever I can do inside the house, various tasks. We both come together for the children, and it's so many parts of life and so many tasks that have to be done that one person doing them all is crazy work. It really is. So I think maybe, even speaking of couples, they should assign those tasks to each other.
Don't do that.
Maybe,
Because no, no, it's some
I don't
things you
know.
just don't want to touch. I mean, in some things that I'm not.
Yeah, that you
y-
don't want to touch either. I
Yeah,
get that.
yeah, but I'm just saying, like when you say, um uh a team effort, right? But my teammate gonna do that laundry if I didn't get to it. That's not really what be going on if
But I
you
have done
just
laundry.
sitting and waiting on me.
But I have done
Well,
it.
not this time.
Yeah, but there's forever gonna be laundry. We all wearing
Oh
clothes.
my
You
gosh.
know what I'm saying? Like, you can't get to every task. Am I gonna come home from work at the 12, 13 hours and be like, yep, let me do this laundry? No, but there are days I do it and you don't have to touch it.
Mhm.
And then there are days that I make sure there's food and you don't have to touch it. Whether I buy it or make it, you don't have to do it. So that's what I'm saying. Like there is the pulling or stripping away from tasks from uh your partner. You know what I mean? And I think we have to really get in a place where it's not, well, you didn't do it how I want
I
it.
was just about to say we got to be okay with it not being exactly the way that we want it.
Yeah, as
That's
long as it got
that's
done
what we
or
got
there
to be
was
okay with because
something.
that's what I battle with.
Yeah, you want it done
I
exactly how
want it
you
how,
would do it.
yeah,
And
like
that's
I want.
not, I'm not you. And you're not me. So when I want stuff done a certain way, I don't typically ask you to do it. I'll just do it.
Mm,
I don't even bother you with it. I just wait till I get time and I'll do it.
let's do a shift.
No, well, that no, we got some time. But yeah, that's as far as today, just talking about the social media pages. Remember, everything you see is not what it really is. Just because I post something, it doesn't mean me and her are even going through it. Again, I get people request me to do things. They request me to make certain posts. Okay, I'll just call it what it is. So uh
So people can request certain posts out of you, but they can't tell you what to post.
no, they don't tell me what to post. They don't try to control what I'm gonna talk about, but there may be a topic that was
That they
touched
wanna
on
they want you to post about.
that,
They
but
wanna
they don't know.
control
They
it.
don't know what I'm gonna say. They just like, can you possibly speak on, this? And I'll be like, yeah, I think I got something in my repertoire, and I'll come up with something and post about it. For whatever topic. It ain't always relationships, but again, the selective outrage of anybody's social media. You cannot control anybody's social media, what they choose to post. If you got to unfollow them or whatever, because today in age we living in, everybody's comparing themselves to everybody. Social media is out of control as much as it is. Protect your peace or whatever you want to call it, or raise your capacity and be okay with
Well,
disagreeing with
I
somebody.
do think that this is part of marriage too. You cannot control your partner. Your partner is who
That's why
they
you picked
are.
them.
Yeah, your partner is who they are, and the faster you realize that, come to terms with that, the better off your marriage will be when you learn to just love who they are, you know.
Exactly.
Hmm.
So I think from that standpoint, again, social media, it is what it is. But y'all better start getting some balanced perspectives. If you're gonna be trying to check misogyny all the time, check misandry. That's what I'm waiting on. Okay, do that. Now, moving from that to just grief and being a space for your partner and things like that, that's going to be a tricky thing. It really is. Like I say, know your partner, know their little quirks, and see any signs of erratic behavior. Try to do things, and there's so many different ways from supportive literature, to read over with them, different ways. Like, I've been sending you stuff to drink, eat, exercises.
Yeah, but don't send me nothing else.
Yeah,
Don't,
I like, oh, I over
don't
communicate.
you
I
do
over
you
communicate.
dumb post. I just can't.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about like, hey, these type of teas, hey,
No, you talking about a
journal.
lot. You talking about a lot.
I'm like a little encyclopedia. I do talk about a lot of stuff, but I'm just saying, show different ways to support your partner. Check-ins. We do nightly check-ins all the time. Hey, how you feeling? What's going on? What you need? And that's a big one, because it can be something as simple as a head rub, foot rub. Hey, I just want to talk. All right, let's talk. So we have that communication going. So nightly check-ins. I mean, it's all kind of ways to really support, but y'all have to be in unison with them, because it's hard to support somebody who does not take the support. So let's make sure that the door is open both ways, for that. And go get therapy. Okay, everybody go get therapy. And
We're gonna go
you want to
into
read it?
no, I feel sad. So I don't want to
Well,
read a
this is
love.
this is happy.
I want to, yeah. So I don't want to be the one to read it. I want it to be a pleasant story. Shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Wilson.
So you are reading it?
No, you are.
Oh,
Is it
okay.
taking too long to find it?
No, no, I
Because I
got it.
will read it.
So we got. Oh, okay. You want to?
No, I
I'm trying
don't.
to cheer you up. All right. So anyway, the love letter for today, we got Mr. and Miss Ronald Wilson. Okay, we want to give them a shout out. It will be 7 years Valentine's Day together. Engaged on Mother's Day 2024. Married on Sweetest Day 2025. We talking about newlyweds, y'all. Black love is still in effect. It says we were working together at Walmart. He seen me working down the candy aisle. Okay. And asked me, was I a team lead? I was offended and quickly corrected him that that I was a manager. Okay. He went on about his business, but ended up seeing me on a dating website and hit me up on there. We have both been married before, and not how we wanted. This time we took the time we needed, became best friends, and married. We're a blended family. So shout out to them that he took that second look back and hit you up on that dating site. And man, he seen you in the candy aisle though. Like, hey, that's
Well, shout out to them both, though, that they took the time and became best friends before, because I think that's so important.
it's
I think,
foundation.
yeah, most definitely. I do believe that me and you are friends first. Um and I mean, there's um I don't know. It's I think it's just important. It's important
It
to have that
is.
friendship,
You gotta
a
have it.
genuine one. Yeah.
You gotta have it. See them dating sites be working. Y'all talking about they ain't working. It's folks out here getting married. Y'all talking about they ain't working. You know. And one thing I want to kind of leave in everybody's heads, right? Is this: what truth about your life are you too tired to admit? And talking about tying that in with everything at this moment. What truth about your life are you too tired that you can't even admit it out loud? You know what I mean? Because um, I think one of the number one things in mental health decline is we don't admit what's actually going on with us. So think about that. Bring it back for the next time around. And we're going to get up out of here with y'all today. And we'll see y'all again after we get through with this winter wonderland we got going on outside. This is a chill kind of love podcast, intellectual radio. Your favorite godson, your favorite goddaughter, Mr. and Mrs. Chilton. We see y'all. Peace. We out.
Thank you.
I see you, baby. Get your shine on. Get your glow up.